Breast Cancer Awareness Month, marked every October, is a worldwide campaign to increase awareness of the disease and gather support for research, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and cure. We pay tribute to cancer warriors, looking back at inspiring conversations with breast cancer survivors Magsanoc-Alikpala and Rita Nazareno. Every year, there are over 1 million new cases of breast cancer. Almost half of those end in death. Breast cancer is the most common cancer in women worldwide and the leading cancer in the Philippines. This Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we talk to cancer patient advocate, broadcast journalist Magsanoc-Alikpala, who founded the I Can Serve Foundation in 1999 with fellow breast cancer survivor. I Can Serve has made great strides in mainstreaming breast cancer awareness in the Philippines. But Cara tells us much remains to be done, especially when it comes to support from the government and the private sector. You've really come a long way since you started it. What inspired you, first of all, to put up I Can Serve?
I started the I Can Serve Foundation to give patients hope and help. My own experience told me that when you get sick, the first thing that goes is your self-control. I mean, your control of the situation, which every woman doesn't want to lose. It's like everyone else is taking charge of your lives, the doctor, the family, the people around you. You can drown. And for some people, they lose hope because they think cancer is a death sentence. So those are the two things you want to restore right away. You want to keep the hope burning for patients, and you want to give them the correct information so they feel more in control. The more you know, the better you feel about your situation because you know the battle plan, you know what you're up against. So I just kind of scaled it up and said every patient, you know, should be surrounded with the support to help them through the journey, whether it be information-wise, financially, emotionally, spiritually. So I said to gain back some sense of control over my situation, I decided to treat it the way I would produce a documentary or a TV show. So I put on my TV producer hat in dealing with the situation. So when I was sick, I studied the landscape, what's out there. And when I started I Can Serve, I just kind of scaled that up. I put it in a book. It was the first project of the I Can Serve Foundation. I tried to find who were the players, who were the existing support groups, who are these people volunteering for a good cause for breast cancer, and put them in a book and kind of defined the breast cancer community through the book. So through the book, people knew where the other was and how to find the other. So it was like building a community that didn't know really existed and could actually be cohesive. So since then, at least on our end, we started to become in touch, and we updated the book every so often.
When I told my friend, another friend, that I had breast cancer, her mother-in-law gave me a book of I Can Serve. So I checked the book. It was very complete in information. It sort of really prepared me with what I'm about to go through. And I called their hotline, and that's when I get to talk to Cara, the founder. And that's it. It all started, and I've been a volunteer since 2005 up to now.
Isa pa ho, dapat yung tandaan at sabihin sa mga kasama nyo, may lunas ho ang breast cancer. Huwag sila matakot.
We decided to embark on high-impact information campaigns, telling people that early breast cancer detection saves lives. But we weren't satisfied with the fact that there's still no breast cancer control program, at least back then, in the 90s. So we decided to do our own homework, do our own bit, and our response was Ating Dibdibin. It's a program where we partner with local government units to tell them to make early breast cancer detection a permanent program.
I Can Serve really helped me because when I read the book, and I know already what to expect. The stories of the survivors from that book really helped me. The sisterhood that we have, the passion that we have shared to be able to share our stories so that women out there would be educated. It was enough for me that you know, I don't even have to question why I had to go through cancer 3 times, because I think this is something that I really have to do to be able to help other women.
You know, when I was told I had cancer, it was no big deal for me. But when they told me I wouldn't have a child, that was like kind of devastating.
Breast cancer survivor and I Can Serve Foundation co-founder Cara Magsanoc-Alikpala tells us about one of the biggest struggles of her battle with cancer.
When you were diagnosed and you were undergoing chemotherapy, you were told you wouldn't be able to have a child. What was going through your mind then?
You know, when I was told I had cancer, it was no big deal for me. I was never scared of whatever would come with the word cancer. But when they told me I wouldn't have a child, that was like kind of devastating. It's like there's nothing I could do within my means anymore to make this happen. So that's when I said I let go and I surrender, and God, it's up to you. I mean, there's nothing humanly possible I could do. And I realized a lot of the things in my life were harder when I insisted on my will and not try to discern God's will.
Right.
So I just held on to the belief that I was going to have a child no matter what. And I did. I had a child.
You were in the height of your, well, you were a journalist, you were even traveling between Zamboanga and
yeah, I was covering the Abu Sayyaf when I found out I was pregnant. So it's really a miracle.
Yeah.
It's really not up to us.
Right.
Just when you thought I hurdled that, you know, that big problem of not having a child, the second biggest crisis was at the delivery room. First of all, she wouldn't descend. So my delivery was delayed. And then when I had a C-section, and when they took her out, she wasn't crying because she wasn't breathing. I mean, she wasn't living, actually. Her APGAR score was 0, so they had to revive her. But at that moment, I think it was the longest few seconds of my life where I was saying, oh, this is what it means to be a mother. Yeah. This is what my parents went through when I got sick. And this is what it means when they say everything here is borrowed. And God just lent me my daughter, and please don't take her back so soon. You know, we've come this far, and give me a chance, another chance again. And we did. And she cried, and she even sang.
Yeah.
She sang to us, me and my husband.
Wow, the miracle baby.
Yeah, she is.
Well, you've really started a lot of miracles here with I Can Serve. You've met so many people, you know, people who you really inspire. Tell me about these women, these cancer warriors you work with, and the inspiration they bring.
They're very optimistic and very strong, no matter the prognosis or the diagnosis. It doesn't matter. They're all just optimistic, brimming with hope. And you know how they say life is lovelier the second time around? They're just so grateful. They're forever grateful, and in their DNA is the need to pay back right after the moment they can. That's the nice thing about all the women breast cancer survivors I meet.
Last year, I realized, I sensed, I was feeling pain every day. It prompted me to go to a doctor, and they did bone scan. Eventually, the doctors told me that the cancer has spread to my lower lumbar. At first, but I couldn't, it was so hard to accept because I've always been diligent. I just couldn't comprehend why it would spread. I went through chemotherapy, but it didn't deter me to, stop working for the advocacy that I love.
I Can Serve Foundation recently held the final show of the Fashion Can Serve series, bringing together top fashion designers and personalities to send messages of empowerment and hope. This year's theme, Why We Fight.
This is extra special for me because, you see, this is the 4th time I'm battling cancer. I'm currently undergoing treatment, but it somehow inspires me to fight more and to just really keep continuing, with the struggle and the battle, because a lot of people are here to cheer me on and support us. So I just want to, continue the fight.
Well, Fashion Can Serve wants to celebrate life. We want to espouse a new kind of life. It's life is lovelier the second time around, and you have to make every second matter, whether or not you had cancer. One of the things the foundation got into is we formed a cancer coalition because we want a Cancer Act passed. So that's one of our bigger dreams. Perfect care for all cancer patients regardless of age, cancer stage, gender, and income bracket. And this is very personal to me. I've lost so many friends and relatives to breast cancer or just to cancer. So it's a very personal fight. And we also want people to know that just because you have terminal cancer doesn't mean it's the end of the line. There is hope, there's a cure, but yes, it is expensive, so we need everybody's help to help everyone else. Because I think the biggest fear really to cancer is living a life without meaning.
I need to enjoy my life. I need to make sure that it means something.
After completing graduate studies at the London College of Fashion, Rita Nazareno returned to Manila in 2010 to help with a family business. Soon after, she found out she had stage 2B breast cancer, which had spread to her lymph nodes. We talked to the Emmy Award-winning television producer turned bag designer about family ties, surviving cancer, and finding fulfillment. First, Rita tells us how she took the news of having the big C.
2010, I was diagnosed, late 2010, about a few months after I'd come home. I just had opened the workshop store, and then I had found out.
So that time you had to have a mastectomy.
Yes.
First. Yeah.
I'm boobless, proud but boobless. Aside from the mastectomy, the cancer as well. It was really tough. Chemo and radiation was tough.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's such a cliche, but really it's a positive attitude. I had to be also very patawa. I had to be very positive, not just for me, but also for the whole family. Because, you know, I mean, it was really tough for my mom to see me suffering and to not know what was going to happen. But you know what? I mean, you trust your doctors, and then you have to. And then, you know, you have friends who are there, you have family who are there, and you just really need to smile. And it's really not making light of a tough situation, or maybe it is, but you know, you have to, because if not, it will really eat you up. The depression and the pain and the toughness will eat you up. So you know, it's important to make sure you're laughing and make sure that you're smiling. And for me also, you know, it's interesting to normalize the scars and celebrate it.
Rita found solace in Hawaii, her healing place, where she did her high school studies. She also found an outlet for self-expression, fulfillment, and recovery through her own bag line, Zacarias. Rita Nazareno's line of hand-woven bags, Zacarias, is her fashion-forward take on a family business that goes back 91 years. S.C. Vizcara, a company founded in 1925 by Rita's grandmother, Segundina Cornejo Vizcara, specializing in elegantly hand-woven luxury handbags and accessories sold worldwide. The brand evolved under Rita's mother, Vicky. Now, Rita is bringing a more contemporary and playful touch to the business and getting more attention for Philippine craftsmanship abroad, especially in Europe and Japan for her unique pieces.
I go to museums, I go to art galleries, and then I see something, I'm like, I can reference that into a bag. Because it's really that transformation that's really interesting to me, is the form and the function of something that someone else had thought of.
Yeah. Tell me about growing up in this family. You grew up in Ermita because that's where the business was.
Yes, my lola started it in Ermita. She started in 1925. And I remember, even until as early as 5 years old.
Your grandmother was into embroidery, your grandfather was a sculptor.
Yes.
How did that influence you?
I think, you know, growing up, I didn't know how lucky I was, but you know, and it was just ingrained in us. And aside from the fact that they were very, very creative people, my grandparents were fantastic people. They were kind, they were humble, they were generous. So I think, aside from their creative part, which is fantastic, it was also wonderful that they were able to instill in us really, you know, some sort of humility and passion as well.
Somehow you got into television. What influenced your choices later in life?
I knew I wanted to be in television. And then, but I also knew growing up that you know, this was a special family business. And I knew that I was going to come back at some point. I was a creative services director at that time for the NBC station in Houston, when my mom had finally called and said, "I am really tired, why don't you come home?" I just found myself saying yes. I went to London College of Fashion for my second master's after that, and that was fun. So basically, everything is woven in-house as well. We have, for example, pre-colored wicker already that we dye ourselves, and so we're doing a lot of the coloring here as well. Everything here now is finished. Actually, these are going to Japan and to Portugal.
Rita's passion and lust for life are fueled by her choices to do the things she truly loves and fulfill her dreams. She says dealing with cancer makes you even more aware of the importance of truly living each moment fully.
You don't want to waste any time.
No.
So for you, everything now is, well, if you want to do a design, if you want to do travel somewhere, you do it.
I do, and you know, and it's been nice. I've been traveling a lot, and it's also tough to travel because now, you know, because the cancer spread to my lymph nodes, and so I need to have. I can't really lift a lot of things, really heavy things.
Yeah.
And when I travel, because of the air pressure, I need to do compression stockings.
Yeah.
So it's so hot. And then, but you know, but it's fine. And I am still taking tamoxifen, but you know, but which is premenopausal, so I'm like hot flashing all the time. But you know, but it's fine. It's stuff you have to deal with.
Yeah.
But you know, but you gotta smile. You gotta be thankful. You know, I'm still here. And I have friends who sadly are not anymore.
Exactly.
But you know, I'm probably here for a reason, and you know, and I need to enjoy my life. I need to make sure that it means something.
Since our interview in 2016, Rita has done numerous shows here and abroad, most recently at Paris Fashion Week. She enjoys teaching and mentoring students at Philippine Women's University, Sofa Design Institute, and designer Joji Lloren's new fashion arts business, or Fab Creatives. She spends a lot of time in Hawaii, her healing place, where she plans to teach and hold pop-up shows.
The biggest myth is thinking that breast cancer is a death sentence. Because even with stage 4 breast cancer, you can live a productive life. The moment you see a cancer survivor walk into the room and you know she's a cancer survivor, that just makes anyone's life easy in telling a story. The moment other people see a survivor smiling and living and just leading a productive life, just tells them, oh, I can be like her. And all I have to do is just really, you know, be vigilant over my health. They're walking advertisements of hope.